All right, this is Boxing with the Truth. I am the Truth. Today's April 3rd, 2019, and today we have with us amateur boxing star Cam F. Awesome. How you doing today, Cam?
Doing well, and I like that you call me a star. Makes me feel special.
Because a lot of amateurs don't get the credit they deserve in the media like a lot of the pro fighters do, but you found a way to kind of do that as an amateur, and a lot of people might not even be aware, and that's why I want to make them aware today that you actually have, now correct me if I'm wrong, you have over 300 amateur fights, is that right?
Closer to 400, actually.
Okay, close to 400 amateur fights, and that's almost unheard of for a U.S. amateur boxer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, you've taken amateur to a whole different level. You've promoted yourself kind of like a pro boxer does, basically. You've gotten your name out there. I mean, you hear about the Russian fighters doing 300-400 amateur fights. We never really hear about that in the U.S., and I know that your whole goal was basically to get to the Olympics.
Yeah, the goal was the Olympics. Never had any aspirations of becoming a professional fighter. It was just something I stumbled into at the age of 16, 17, and kind of fell in love with it and loved the traveling and everything that came along with boxing, but never any aspirations to turn pro.
And actually, that was going to be my next question, and I was dying myself to find out why you never did go pro.
I strongly advise against turning pro for money. If you want to turn pro, do it. But if you think you're going to do it for money, I'd never advise anyone to do that, because there's no real stability, and the way people see, like, they look like Mayweather. You can be a multimillionaire like Mayweather. You can make $100 million in a night. I'm like 99% of the money in boxing is held by probably 0.01% of the boxers.
No, I agree with you. After you get done paying all your team and the managers and everything else, the public doesn't realize that big check that you signed that contract for necessarily doesn't all go to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people don't even take into account taxes. They're like, oh, man, you fought for $100K? They think you have $100K in your bank now.
Okay, and also I want to bring up, because some of the fans might not understand this, your birth name is Lenroy Thompson, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, but now you, through the middle of your, let's just say around the middle of your career, I guess, as an amateur, you changed it to Cam F. Awesome. Well, first of all, where did that name come from, and why did you change it?
My original name was Lenroy Cameron Thompson, and I was a junior, and to not confuse me with my dad, they called me by my middle name, Cameron, which should have just been called Junior, but whatever. I guess everyone called me Cameron. I want everyone to call me Cameron after the relevant rapper in the 90s. And so everyone who knows me personally knows me as Cameron. But if you see me fight, I have to fight under my legal name, which was Lenroy at the time. And I figured I should probably change it. And I decided to change it when I was looking to reinvent myself and take a whole new approach to boxing and self-promotion. And I couldn't think of a more awesome name than Awesome. So paid $178 and changed it up.
Okay, and it seems to be working for you.
Yeah, I don't know why more people don't do it.
Okay, and another question just personally for me, I've been dying to find out the answer to this. When you mentioned that some people, or possibly you, thought you were the Taylor Swift of boxing, where did that come from, and what exactly did that mean?
That means literally nothing. I used to get because I'm a very passionate person, and if I lose, I usually lose my mind. And most of the time I cry when I lose is because I'm confused. Because in my head, I'm supposed to win every fight.
That's basically where the Taylor Swift part came from, because you said you cry after every fight.
Yeah, and it was an interview after a fight I lost. I decided to just go on a rant, pretty much.
Okay.
And I I just, and when I'm frustrated, instead of, yelling or being the irate person I used to be, I now just say humorous, condescending things.
Okay. Now, listen, I actually forgot this part, and I want to make sure I bring this up because I think that it's very important that all the boxing fans and my listeners know this. You have, I can't even count how many titles you've won over the years. I mean, you've won Golden Gloves several times. You won U.S. titles. You've won numerous other things. You two-time Olympic trial champion. You were the captain of the U.S. national boxing team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of accomplishments for one guy to win.
Yeah, and I'm not even not aggressive of the person, so I just hope that everyone can see that. So, the reason why I'm not a big fan of the Rocky movies, and by not a big fan, I mean hate them with all of my guts, I don't like that boxers are always perceived in negative lights. So, in all the boxing movies, boxers are criminals, they're ignorant, they're poor, and I wish that someone would make a boxing movie where they would show a boxer in a positive light.
Okay.
So if you see any pictures of me online associated with boxing or aspect of my life, I have a goofy face and I have thumbs up, just to show boxers can be articulate, they can be educated, they don't have to be angry, they don't have to be ignorant, they don't have to be aggressive. So I just want to bring a positive light to boxing. And I'm a pretty happy person, so you don't really have to be angry.
Okay, well, seeing that you just brought up the Rocky movies, do you have a favorite boxing movie?
Not really, because I can't appreciate boxing movies. With the exception of Creed, because Michael B. Jordan was dating Hattie Braverman in Parenthood, and I was a Michael B. Jordan fan. But and the one with Jake Gyllenhaal, Southpaw, that was probably the best boxing movie I've ever seen.
Okay, I want to ask you about this gentleman. I know he's been a huge inspiration in your life, and kind of see what just comes to mind when I mention his name. John Brown, your coach.
He owes me $10. I think I owe him way more. He's one of the weirdest guys I've ever met in my life. One of my favorite human beings. And he basically taught me that some people are just good people with no ulterior motives. Because, you'd be confused if you knew how much good he did for the world that he won't mention and he won't let anyone speak about. He's just a genuinely good dude. He kind of became my father figure when he started coaching me when I was 18. He taught me not just about boxing, but about life, how to manage money, work ethic. The world needs 1,000 John Browns.
Okay. And speaking of doing things, good for people that don't get mentioned a lot, I know that you're a huge supporter of breast cancer awareness, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and why is that?
I call her my Kansas mom. When I first moved to Kansas City to box for John Brown, the lady who was in charge of the recreational center the boxing gym's at, every Thanksgiving, because I don't have family in Kansas City, she would invite me to dinner for Thanksgiving dinner and give me a Christmas gift and basically yell at me when I did something wrong. And she's like my disciplinary figure, like my Kansas mom when I was like a dumb 18-year-old, 19-year-old, thinking I ran the world. And she was diagnosed with breast cancer twice, but she's a survivor.
Okay. So I guess I got to ask you this. Are you officially retired from the ring?
As of right now, yeah. I mean, and it's a weird thing to say I'm retired because I never took boxing. I've taken it seriously, but never as a profession. So, and also it doesn't pay. You can't retire from something you don't get paid for.
Well, I guess you have a good point there. Okay, I guess let me rephrase it. Will we ever see you in another amateur boxing fight?
Probably at some point. Yeah, I'm sure I'd box again at some point. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions about if I have any desire to participate in the 2020 Olympics, and a lot of things would have to line up correctly for that to happen. Just financially, I've made like a savings account, and I fill my gas tank all the way. And to go back to being broke would suck.
So let's talk about that. I want to bring that up. You told me before in a different conversation that you're basically traveling the United States in a van. So I know that you're a youth speaker now, and you're going around and talking to schools and giving the kids, some inspiration on things you've done and how to follow their dreams. And you're also a comedian now. So you're kind of doing both things, traveling the nation in your van, right?
Yeah, just speaking at schools, doing comedy, and emceeing festivals around the country.
So are you managing yourself, and you're just kind of keeping track of all your scheduling and all this stuff out of your van? Yeah. Basically, one-man project, one-man team, and the great thing that boxing did for me was taught me the value of hard work, and it put everything into perspective, because I've been speaking for a year, basically a year full-time, and I have a very successful business, and I didn't put even a percentage of the effort into speaking that I had to put into boxing. So speaking of boxing, you said you probably will get back in the ring, but when you were going in the ring all the time, did you have any type of superstition or ritual or habit you did before every fight? It's hard to explain, but my ritual is doing whatever I want. Whether that be, sometimes I want to go to bed early the night before a fight. Sometimes I want to go do a comedy show before a fight. Sometimes I want to go sing karaoke. I just want to do whatever I feel like doing, and I don't like to be told that I can't do something. Okay. Which I don't do well with teams, although I've been on the USA team for like a decade. But that's how John Brown and I work so well together, because I think there's certain things that is none of a coach's business. Like, I don't believe John Brown has ever asked me if I went running before, because again, none of his business. As a boxer, I'm old enough to be able to have the personal accountability to know what my job is and know if I need to train or run or manage weight. He should only be concerned with my boxing. So I've always been kind of very independent-minded, and I just kind of like to do whatever I want. It's why I'm able to have fun when I box, because I just kind of do what I want. There's a local pro boxer here in Duluth, Minnesota, that you actually fought twice. And unfortunately for us, I mean, you won both times against Ryan Watson. Can you tell me about you and Ryan Watson a little bit? Yeah, Ryan Watson's a good dude. I fought him, I think maybe 3 times. Oh, okay. Yeah, I fought him maybe 3 times. I think the last one was really close. I drove up to Minnesota. I think it was Minnesota. Yeah, I just drove up to Minnesota to fight him. I drive a lot. Come to think about it. Yeah. Well, yeah. I see a lot of guys who kind of turn pro, and it looks really cool, but it's so difficult to make a career as a pro when you're first starting out. And I mean, it's so much work, and nothing's promised or guaranteed. And actually, it's not even how good you are, depending on the money you make. It's how many tickets you can sell. And a lot of these guys get caught up in contracts where they sell tickets to make money. But if you're broke and you turn pro to make money, and then you have to sell tickets, everyone you know is also broke. Who's going to buy those tickets? I don't think I would ever turn pro. But if I did, it would be a reason other than money.
whether it's for promotion or open up opportunities and doors for myself. Well, there's way too many ways to make money to get punched for it.
Okay. So
unless it's something you love.
now, do you actually follow pro boxing at all?
I don't watch any boxing.
Really?
Yeah, unless it's my friend fighting, I have no interest. Not big on sports. I did go up to BFE, Minnesota, to watch Robert Brant fight.
Oh, you were actually there at Hinckley.
Yeah, I went up to Hinckley, and I love Rob. He's one of my best friends. And we've been on, I guess, 2009 was the first time I think we were on a team, and we fought in Memphis together, WSB. Good dude, and man, I'm so proud of him. And you know how much I love him? I had to, it was so cold. It's like 2 hours away from the airport, in the middle of nowhere. Jeez. I think Minnesota should just move 500 miles south.
So what you're saying is you love Robert Brant so much that you came all the way to Minnesota to a place when you can't stand the cold weather and went 2.5 hours from the airport just to watch him defend his world title.
And he did a damn good job. It was worth the weird drive. I also spoke at a school out there while I was out there. I reached out to a school while I was out there. I was like, and booked a gig. I spoke at actually a juvenile detention center, Stadium View High School.
So I was actually going to ask you which heavyweight you prefer as a fan, but you just told me you don't even watch boxing. So I guess asking that is kind of pointless.
Yeah. Like I know, and I know a little bit, but not much. I know the rules of boxing. I know the big names. I'm like a fair weather fan.
Okay, so you know who Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who, if you were to be a fan of one of those three, who would you prefer?
All right. So, loaded question, but if I had to choose one person I would support to win, gotta bet black. Going with American. But
okay, Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, my favorite personality, not even close. Fury. Dude's funny. The dude is funny. He has a killer story, and I like him.
And I honestly thought that you would just pick Tyson Fury across the board because of the personality and his, comedy. So you caught me off guard with the Deontay Wilder thing.
Yeah, I gotta go with America. And I don't like how everyone gives him so much crap, Deontay Wilder. Like, the dude's undefeated. He's a bronze medalist in the Olympics after only boxing for a few years. He's knocked out like 39 of his. Basically, he knocked out everyone besides Tyson Fury. And I feel like the Stavern knockout, the second one, counts as 2. Like, I don't know why everybody gives him such a hard time. Yeah, he's a little awkward. It doesn't matter. He rarely sees a decision.
Well, speaking of awkward, everybody knows that you have a very unusual style as well, and that actually helped you quite a bit in your career.
Yeah, fundamentals are crutches for the untalented. Kenny Powers.
Well, listen, I'm gonna finish this interview up here. I got one last question for you, and so if you were to give one of those kids at the schools that you talk to any advice about starting a boxing career, what would you tell them?
Depend on the kid, but generally speaking, I would just say be in better shape than everyone else. Your first 20 fights aren't decided by who has more skill. It's about who doesn't get tired first. I would say cardio and also marketing yourself, because a lot of guys turn pro too quickly because they don't have a choice because they can't financially support themselves. And if you can find a way to market yourself, get sponsorships, branding, and utilize your social media platform as an income, you can stay amateur for a lot longer, get the experience, take a few losses, learn how to lose, learn how to bounce back, and become a great fighter.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Cam, and the truth has spoken.